In today's video, it's going to be a plan with me. I'm going to write out what I plan on doing with the boys for homeschool this week, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the process of what I do to plan out a week homeschooling. I did get a lot of questions about, last week I showed what I had planned out, but I got a lot of questions about, how I found the information to teach them and, how I plan it more in depth. So that's what I plan on doing today. Right here, I just have my thoughts written out on paper, and then I'm gonna do some research on a few more things, and then I want to look for some projects and other things like that. But I'll show you in a second what I'm gonna do. So I hope you enjoyed the video. All right, I just finished up doing day 4 of the creation, the research for it anyway, and now I'm just going to kind of show you what I have put together. So we're still doing the Bible unit study. We're on lesson 4, the creation, and on day 4, God created the sun, the moon, and the stars. So for our history and research lesson, we're going to look up who was the first astronaut on the moon. The answer for that is Neil Armstrong. So for writing, I have the kids doing a biography for Neil Armstrong. And then for geography, we're going to map out where Neil Armstrong was born, which was in Ohio, and just look at the map and then trace it from Ohio to Florida. And then for art and science, we're just going to draw a picture of the sun, moon, and the stars, and then they're going to label it with important facts. And then right here, you see me with the tablet. I'm looking for fun projects for the kids to do since I have the other bases covered with like writing, geography, and art and science. So I'm just using this book that I have as an engineering STEM book that I have downloaded to my Kindle. I'm just kind of going through, and since we're doing sun, I'm looking for solar projects. So I was able to find 2 really good ones here. We have a solar water distillery that we can do, and then they have a solar pizza oven. So I'm just clicking on the link here and looking at the supplies needed to see what I have on hand and what I need so that I can run out and get it before school starts tomorrow. So once I've gotten all of my ideas for projects out of the engineering book, I like to write them down so one, I won't forget. And then I like to go to YouTube to look at a visual representation of the actual project, because I'm not really a read directions on a piece of paper, be able to follow it kind of person. I like to watch the video, and then in my mind, if I see it visually and it looks like something I could be able to do, then I know I can definitely do that with the kids. So I've written down all 4 projects, and I have 2 alternate projects here just because it's supposed to rain here on Friday. And if we can't get to the solar ones, then we're going to do the other 2, making our own telescopes, and the other one was baking sugar cookies from scratch. I felt like that would be good because it's incorporating math. And then I figured we could cut them in the shapes of circle and stars, and then we can decorate them like the moon, the sun. All right, so now I'm on to the second day of this week. We're doing the Bible unit study. We're on day 5. On this day, God created the birds and the fish. We're going to do one general project. It's going to include history, writing, research, art, and science. I'm going to have the kids go outside and take a picture of as many birds as they can find. And then we're just going to do research on the birds that we find. And then they get to pick one, any bird of choice. And then they're going to perform research on it, write at least 5 facts, make sure they include what the birds eat, their habitat, stuff like that. And then they get to draw a picture of the bird that they're researching. The other thing we're going to do is, last week we learned about different biomes, but we skipped out on the aquatic biome because I wanted to save it for this since we're doing like birds and fish. So I just wrote down some notes here about the aquatic or marine biome. Here I have it's the largest on Earth. There's different types. It's freshwater, which is like ponds and lakes, and still water. You got streams and rivers, which are moving, and then grassland is a combination of both. It has moving and still. And then for Fun Friday ideas here, I have written down make bird feeders. Then we can use the telescopes that we made to watch the birds. And then I just put a little note, look for videos, because I just want to add some videos in here to show some different marine life for the kids. All right, so now we're on day 3 of our planning for this week. I'm just writing down some notes again to figure out how I can incorporate art, history, science, and geography into our Bible unit study. Right now, I'm working on day 6 of our Bible unit study. On this day, God created the animals and man. So what I came up with is we're going to have the kids do science, writing, and research first. I'm going to have them pick an animal from one of the different biomes that we learned last week, and they're going to perform research on that animal and write down at least 5 facts. So let's say they wanted to do the ice caps. They could do polar bears and do research on polar bears. The next thing we're going to do is our art project. They're going to attempt to do a self-portrait, and then tie in history with art. We're going to do who is Leonardo da Vinci, and then we're going to, look into what he was famous for. I have watched a documentary on Netflix because I love those animal documentaries, so it's just an excuse for me to really do that, to be honest. For a Fun Friday project, and I put maybe beside it because our Fun Friday is filling up a lot, so I might have them do this on that day. I'm just going to have them mold people out of Play-Doh. Planning out your school week isn't that difficult if you just figure out what you want your kids to learn. Like for me, I really wanted to put all of our focus on the Bible, and then I wanted to tie all the other subjects into that. So the Bible is our base, and then the other things are just like kind of layered on top of that. So of course we're starting with the beginning of the Bible, which is the creation, and I just look for ways to tie those different subjects in. So on day 7, for example, God rested. So I have them doing copy work here to learn a Bible quote, and they're working on their handwriting. For art and writing, I have the kids coming up with their own bedtime story with illustration. That's writing again, and that's art. And then for science, we're going to talk about sleep because God rested on day 7. So we're tying in what is the importance of sleep, what are different stages of sleep. And then for history, we're talking about Nathaniel Kleitman, who was the master of sleep. He had a big contribution into the research of sleep and why it was important. So all those things I tied into the creation day 7, which was rest, and all these other things tie into that. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped. I did try to slow down the process a little bit to show you how I get started, which is taking the notes that I get when I read the Bible, and then just having a good base, and then just figuring out a way to incorporate all the other subjects into that. So I hope the video explained it well enough for you to be able to try to do this on your own. And, use the resources you have around you, like Google, YouTube, Netflix. There's so many, different resources out there and ways that you can get information now. It's pretty, easy to figure it out. So I hope it was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and hit the like button, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye.